is to go back as far as possible to see what the trend is. Did the rand depreciate? Yes, it went depreciated in 2020. Is it depreciated at the moment? Yes. Did it strengthen? Yes. So when you're paying 20 Rand 51 per US dollar, you don't want to do that unless, of course, you bought dollars. And this is where the support and resistance lines are going to come in use. Because we have to anticipate what is the market going to do next. And this is going to help us. I'm going to just use a tool now. We're speaking about support and resistance. If we see this is the market moving upwards, slowly but surely upwards, upwards, upwards. So if I had to put a line right through here and see where the general movement of this market is, and I want to put it on the lows, the real possible lows, and see in what direction is the market moving. All of these tools I will show you. This is one of the tools on the left. It's called a parallel channel. This is a support line. Obviously, it went lower, and that's the resistance line. There didn't go as high. And I can do another parallel channel saying, okay, let's be realistic. Let's see where the price is going on a regular basis. And there's another channel. So there's anyone that comes and tells you there's set rules, there's no set rules. The rules depend on yourself, how you want to trade. Are you in short term, medium term, long term? Because if you and I are trading on a daily basis, this will help us understand the general trend of the market for US dollars is going up, but up and down, as I always tell people, up and down is how you and I came into life. We all discovered life through friction, through market changes, and we have to accept that. When we look at wars, wars are not, no one wants wars, but wars change, a depression and recession changes the economy. So if you get upset easily by changes in the market, changes in prices, then you must ask yourself, why am I getting emotional about this? Why can't I rather take advantage of what's sorry, I need to make sure that everyone's muted. Otherwise, if somebody sneezes or coughs. All right, so what we need to do now is let's have a look at the current situation. If we from 2024, what happened from 2024 to 2025? The price of the rand became stronger, ending 2020 into 2025. In fact, the whole of 2025, the rand has become stronger again. And you can look at all the rules and why this has happened, and you can go onto all the news and say, let me just check the graphs. Let me check the trends and see what's happening. Let me see with the graphs, the current graphs, how can I take advantage? So I can see when I'm looking at the current support line, you see it's been going down. That's the support line. And there's support line. But now that's not, I need to push it down a little bit to keep it a support line. So I'm saying, all right, there's my support line. Where's my resistance line? Where are the highs? There was a high, there was a high, there was a high. So there's a resistance line. But now, what's happening there? Why can't I draw a line from there to there or there to there? I can. But this is what we call a falling or a wedge. This is a wedge. So if I draw a support line there and I draw a resistance line, but the resistance crosses my support line, it means there's going to be a direction change. So the price is going up and down in between these two lines, and then it breaks out of that. So when you have a falling wedge, in other words, your price is going like this, then your general trend is to break out of that wedge. But if it's doing the opposite, there is a rising wedge. When it goes into a wedge, look what happens. The rising wedge, it went up, and then it went into that, and then it dropped. So in other words, there's a wedge, the price is going like this, and this, and this, and then it drops. It goes through the bottom. So you know the price is going to drop after that. If the price then was only going like this, let's say you have your support line, there's your resistance line, and it goes up and down continuously between that, then you know you have a general upward trend. If it does the same, like for instance there, that could have been, but then of course there you had a falling wedge at that point in time. Sorry about that, I should have drawn it more accurately. I'm just using the line. Then of course a falling wedge means an upcoming price. A rising wedge, rising triangle means a downward price coming soon. So your support line is the price that hits the bottom and then goes up. Hits the bottom, goes up. Hits the bottom, goes up. But each bottom is obviously, you can see, lower than the previous bottom. That's why you need to draw your support line on there. And then you can start seeing the trend. That was a high, but that was a lower high, and that was a lower high, which means we will see an rising price again. So support and resistance lines help us determine where the price is possibly going to go. And it keeps it simple. Let's use another example. I want to use silver. And if there's anything that you folks can do for yourself, if your family and anyone in your family is saying, oh, what's this about crypto? This is nonsense, whatever. Introduce them to silver. One of my traders this morning, I was having a Zoom call with him, and he was asking me about silver and what to do. And I said, if there's anything that you can do biblical for yourself and your family, is to increase your silver. And I can say that without a shadow of a doubt, I've had traders start with 10 silver coins and sit with 25 silver coins 2, 3 months later because they traded with the simple techniques that I'm going to teach you. And it's so simple that if you've done buying and selling before, you'll understand it. But if you've done Forex and all of this margin trading and then we need some serious sessions together because you wouldn't understand what the concept of buying low, selling high. So here we have silver, for instance. The silver is pretty much at the moment almost like an easy channel to trade in. If you go back, silver's price over the last 4 or 5 years, you have very much a nice trading range to work in. You can see there's a high, low of 400 Rand and a high of about 1,200 Rand and higher. In other words, that's my support line and there's my resistance line. That is for someone who's trading medium to long term. Somebody who's trading day-to-day trading, they might want to look at a 4-hour graph. And a 4-hour graph changes things because you want to say, where's the latest support line running? See, it's there, ding, 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 ding. So I'm going to put it at there. Where's my latest resistance line running? From there, ding, 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 ding. What does this mean? Is that a falling wedge? Could be. In other words, maybe silver is going to make a rise again and then fall into this other support and resistance line, and I then have a trading range of about 36%. In other words, I can make up to 36, 37% in the next few weeks or month or two. Should the world change, and the world is going to change next month, we are on the verge, we're probably 1 to 2 weeks away of big price drops. And hopefully when we get to the moon phases and the season changes, a few lessons on, you will understand. And this is what encourages me. There's a lot of people that are doing very professional, great courses out there. But they're just telling you what the fundamentals are. They're not teaching you trends and cycles. They're not telling you what could be happening. They're just telling you, oh, you must buy this. And everyone was talking about buying Ethereum a few days ago, and Ethereum has dropped seriously. Why? I will explain it to you sometime. So let's look at this full screen. My support line is somewhere over here. Just use it. That's my support line. There's my support line. There's a support line, but I want to draw a straight line, and there's a support line. Would it drop further down or would it go up? But because we're on a support line, it's most likely because that resistance line is coming down and we need to be moving up. So buying silver right now at the moment is a good thing. If you go and buy silver at Square Shop or lots of these places, you're going to pay between 1,000 Rand and 1,200 Rand, depending on which coin you buy. So if you buy it on Altcoin Trader, you are buying it at a market-related price. You can go and save it. You can put it in your bank. You can put it in your safe at home. You can have it shipped to you. But let's get back to the trading. Support and resistance lines, I'm going to use I want to use different examples so that you folks can see. I'm going to use Tron, TRX. Very cheap coin. Rather say you got 1,000 Tron than you got 0.0003 Bitcoin. You can buy and you can multiply your Tron quite drastically just using support and resistance lines. In other words, if I'm a day trader, if I'm somebody coming into the market today, I want to make sure that my graph is set on less than a 24-hour graph, which is 6 hour, 4 hour, 2 hour. I'll say 4 hour, and I can see, okay, Tron, let me go and put a support line. You just always take this volume away. So, okay, I don't know what happened there. There's a low, there's a low, there's a low. But those lows don't mean anything at this point in time, because they're not supporting anything except for those times, 3 times it went low. Let's start there. There's a low, there's a low. Okay, supporting, supporting, support, support, support. So the price for there, but then it became steeper. It went slightly higher. So price is going higher, higher. There's a support line. Okay, it went through there. So what I'll do is I'll just make a circle there just to make sure that you don't think I missed that. So the price went higher. It's changing direction. This is what we call a parabolic. Parabolic direction change means it's preparing for a big bull run. What does bull mean? Bull means that the bull is going to make you money and the bear is going to lose you money. So you want to prepare yourself for a bull run. With the direction change, and every time the direction change, okay, let's first do resistance. Now this is an interesting scenario, because generally when you have this happening, then it drops. It should have dropped through there, but it went through the resistance line and went higher. In other words, there's no more resistance to stop this price from going higher, which is exciting. And that means we could possibly see 2 or 3 more stronger bull runs coming. In other words, it would get steeper and steeper and steeper, and then like this. And generally, when we see this happening, because of the steepness, the steeper it gets, the more dangerous it gets, because it's going to drop again. So when you're drawing support and resistance lines, it helps you determine the future of the trend of the coin. And I'm saying, so for somebody going into the market now saying, what is the possibilities? Where can I trade? Let's take a parallel channel and say, okay, my parallel channel is running like this. And now it's changed direction. I need another parallel channel, because there's a low. Hang on. Lows and highs. So I'm going to zoom this in and say, for my Tron trades, I need to consider the low is round there. And what price is that? 6 Rand 12. My high over the next few days, and higher obviously, is 7 Rand 12. Expecting it to come down and go higher and come down and go higher. So what is my trading range? At the current price, it could drop 3% onto the support line, and it could go up 12% to the resistance line. So I've got a nice trading range over here. And this is nice because traders like to, and then at some stage or another, I want to have my trades where I'm working out, and I'm going to show you when we get to the Fibonacci. Some of you heard of Fibonacci already, maybe at school. The Fibonacci will help you then determine where is the place that it would turn, more or less it would turn. So I'm going to start placing, I'm going to just zoom this in, pretend that nothing else exists at this point in time. Support, resistance, resistance. I would say the price might still drop down to 6 Rand 12, 14, and it might go all the way to 7 Rand 12, 13, 40. And what am I going to do? I'm going to place some buy orders in this range and some sell orders in that range. Or multiple sell orders upwards and multiple buy orders down. I'm not going to do that now or teach that now, but we want to work when traders are trading on daily trades. You see, I've used now 1-day graphs, 4-hour graphs, 6-hour graphs, and now we're down to 4-hour graph. If I'm trading, I want to know if I'm sitting all day, let's say 6 to 12 hours in front of the screen. Some of you spend so much time in front of the screen not making money. You might as well use that time to make money. It's exciting. It keeps your heart pumping fast. It keeps you excited. Sometimes traders don't sleep at night. They have dreams about their trading because they're excited about this. And they're excited about every single rand that they can make while they are not even not in front of the screen. And I'm going to teach you that you don't need to spend all day in front of the screen watching what's going to happen because you've already anticipated where the price would go. You've already placed your orders down, bought at the current price, and placing your sell orders going up. So all you need to do is check your screen every few hour, half an hour, 20 minutes, whatever makes you happy, and you trade continuously going up and down. All the Forex traders don't understand this because they want to trade only in one direction. They want to say, I'm trading long, which means I'm trading bull, the price going up. I'm shorting the trade. I'm buying lower. I'm actually, it's a very, very complicated, sophisticated when we talk about this because it's hard to understand. Not even the normal trader. I spoke to a Forex trader the other day. He's one of my students. He can't even explain to me why and how this is like that is. What I'm saying is, if you can buy Tron or silver at lower than the current price, you buy in a bargain. And if you then buy it any price down in this region and sell it any price higher at a profit,